to the 2020 APTA National Championships presented by our local sponsor, BTIG, and APTA national sponsors Viking and Uline. We are live from the Country Club of Darien in Connecticut on the APTA network presented by eNet Live. I'm Patty Hogan alongside Matt Garavaglia, bringing you a round of 32 matchup between our tournament number 11 seeds, Maria Manley and Pam Ruoff, and they're coming up against Marina Ohlmuller and Zsinko. Matt, what do you think about this great match that we're going to show everyone? Kick off our Nationals coverage here.
Thanks, Patty. Thank you guys for having us. This is going to be a great match. It's a veterans team, if you want to put it that way. They are two of the teams that I would say are very good about knowing their opponents, knowing what to do, figuring out, playing, if you want to call the traditional paddle, a little lobs, waiting for their opportunity, and when they get it, they'll take it.
Should we turn it over to our tournament umpire here?
Yes,
Chris Gorman.
Chris Gorman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this round of 32 match Women's APTA 2020 Nationals. From Rumson, New Jersey, in the deuce court, to my right, Maria Manley, her partner in the ad court, Pam Ruoff. To my left, in the ad court, Marina Ohlmuller, her partner in the deuce court, Zsinko. Ohlmuller Zsinko won the toss and have elected to receive. Ruoff to serve.
Matt, do you want to tell everyone who's who on the court here?
So, Marina Ohlmuller, who's in the ad court, the back court, she's one of the best high lobbers I've ever played against. Been playing the game a few years, got a couple national titles and some mixeds. Great player. Her partner, Shauna.
Marina has the pom-pom.
Yes.
So, on the screen that we currently see, Marina's in the ad court, returning serve.
Yes, so in the pom-pom, she is one of the best lobbers, not just to get the back, but to setting up her partner.
15 all.
Precise drives, nothing, killer, but just precise, and is really good at setting up a partner who, as you'll notice soon, is one of the biggest hitters you're going to see in the women's game. And
she's a late entry here. Sandy Svetka couldn't be with us this weekend, so Shauna has filled in. They've won their first two matches. That's Shauna returning from the deuce court, unfortunately into the net, and that's Pam Ruoff serving. She's got a bright orangey pink hat, and her partner is Maria Manley at the net.
Maria and Pam have been here a few times, a couple quarterfinals, in round of 16s and stuff. So, very seasoned team, very smart team. Out there, they'll not make too many mistakes.
30 all.
Now, a little nerves kicking in the beginning, but they'll get this match going.
Yeah, I have so much regard for Ruoff and Manley as a team match. Top 10 in the country, typically for the last 2 decades, I want to say.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of paddle smarts. Maria's a teacher
40,
down
30.
in the Seabright area, Rumson. Pam helps out with some high school programs down in the Jersey Shore, Matt. But they are the toughest out. We can always predict when they're playing against one of the top teams in the country that they're going to be out there fighting deep into a third set. This is an interesting matchup here because as the 11 seeds, they're the ones that if there's any pressure in this match,
they
which
lead
there
the
is,
first set 1-0.
because this is the Nationals match, and this this is the first year you haven't played.
No,
You know, I get to be involved with the stream, which brings me back to nationals now that I don't play anymore. I just play for fun like
Yeah.
you, Matt.
Yeah.
And we get to teach, but over the years, you know, you just have nothing but regard for what Manley and Ruoff had contributed to the game. Their Region 1 ladies won the President's Cup yesterday.
Yep.
They weren't a part of it yesterday, but they've been the stalwarts of that team for years and years.
Years and years. And they, you know, as they said, you know what you're going to get, which is good, because it's never going to be a match where you're going to be like, oh my God,
15
what
love.
happened to them? They're going to, you know, they make a couple of errors, but they're going to put it to you and they're going to make you work. Win or lose, they're there.
15
And,
all.
you know, if they get hurt during this match, the good thing is Shauna is a chiropractor.
Yeah, she can definitely help them out a
30,
little
15.
bit. And I will say the one thing, Patty, about, you know, not playing in this and being here. I love the atmosphere. I love being in. I also do love waking up in the morning and not needing Shauna to work on your back.
There's a lot to be said for that as well,
40,
Matty G.
15.
But, you know, that's the thing. I mean, the country club here, they embraced it up here in Fairfield, and they really do a great job of, 128 women's teams. It's amazing.
Yeah, the biggest draw that I can ever remember. Kudos to Tiernan Cavana and Mark Fischel, who are co-chairing this event, and our host pro, Carl Levinon. They've done an amazing job to, you know, get the very supportive
40-30.
Fairfield County Leagues involved here. So I saw so many women this morning who I've never seen in my paddle life,
No.
Matt. But they're all part of this national championship, which is
No,
so
it's
cool.
wonderful. They have such a good community. Yeah, for years I was out in Chicago,
Deuce.
and I think Connecticut does a great job, like the Chicago area, where the pros and the clubs work together. And, you know, I know that you're down in Jersey, and I know the Jersey pros have that great community, and everything's doing it. And it only makes this game better, and it's only going to get more and more teams and more players playing this great sport.
Add Ruoff.
So I'm seeing the first chink here a little bit for our Chicago team, Matt. You know, they're a pickup team. They haven't played a match in a tournament this year.
No.
And you could see, I think, the patience lobbing, in particular from Maria Manley out in the deuce court. Maria's the shorter of the two players. That's Ruoff, the taller one in the ad court. I feel like their lobs are going to cause some confusion, and I don't see that either Shauna or Marina is closing in. And I'm not sure as a team that they're going to be able to defend the volleys.
It is.
Because I think shifting is about having sort of a sense with your partner what you have to do. And Marina got beaten up the
Ball's
line
out.
from Pam a point or two ago.
Yeah, I think
I
Dude.
just think it's going to be little things like that that are going to create some early separation in this match.
I hear you say, because, you know, especially when you get to this level, everyone talks about, you know, everyone should be able to play with everybody, but there are styles. There are players that like to play off the net. There are players that play obviously very close to the net, and if you're used to playing with one, you know, you get to a big match, you hit a shot thinking, oh, my partner's going to be there. She may not, because they don't
Advantage,
have
Zsinko.
that. You know, they do have the nuances of a lot of experience, Ohlmuller, and as I said, Shauna took a few years off to have a family, and she said she's ready to go.
She's got 3 kids who maybe get to watch the instant replay tonight.
Exactly.
Corey,
You have Corey, Colt. I am.
yeah,
the
Corey,
worst with it.
Colt, and I'm going.
Corey, Colt, and
Deuce.
Kyle.
Kyle, that's right. Yeah, I think that those of you who don't know the Manley Ruoff style of play, Maria's the setter-upper, very traditional. She kills you with her consistency and a change of paces. Doesn't deliver a heavy drive, but she kind of leaves that up to
Advantage,
Pam out of the
Zsinko.
ad court.
Yeah, no, that's especially for the, if you want to call it the more than average woman who is watching this and they're watching, this is a great match to watch because you're going to get you're going to get some stuff, but you're really going to get the consistency of the game, and you can learn because these players will not, go out there and, they'll hit the drives at the right spots. They might make an error here or there, but they're going to play the game exactly the way if you want to call it, the way we teach, and it's fun to watch that.
Well, the difference with the top women players is you see some very fast play, very quick points, where everything here is a little bit more deliberate.
It is. It's,
every point goes into it a couple times before you see anyone who's going to even make a risky move, a risky choice.
Well, I think the big thing has to, as you said, it is the way the game has changed since we were playing at ITOP and stuff like that. Is players have gotten more athletic, younger. And the other thing about it has to do with, these players they're playing all the time.
Ruoff.
Where a lot of teaching pros in the ladies. I mean, Patty, you're one of the pioneers of teaching pros in the women's game, and you and Jerry have really carved a way for a lot of the people, not just teaching, but that are playing in this tournament.
That's nice of you to say, Matty G. Matt, on the point before while we were just chatting, again, I saw the positioning a little bit of an issue with Sean and Marina, with the ball coming into Pam, that I just feel like they're not decisive up there at the net
Manley.
with their positioning or shot.
First set.
And so they're in a little bit of an early hole, down 2-love, first set.
Yeah,
we are in Darien, Connecticut for the 2020 National Championships. I'm Patty H, along with Matty G.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, it's the big things. I think that you're right. You'll see the difference in the net play between the two teams. Is the one team has got the experience together and basically know where the other one's going to be, and the other one's going to be a little bit. Oh, she hit it here, maybe instead of she hit it there, and it'll take a little time against a good team.
And Shauna, this is a treat for me, Matt. I've not seen Shauna play yet.
So
I'll talk about it in a little bit.
15:30.
What do you have, Matt?
Oh, we got a couple people saying hello, giving a shout out to you, Patty, and myself, Mr. Martin Bostrom and Tonya Mangan, and one of the guys that used to work for me who does with Premier, his Premier is Robert Stahl, who he's going out to teach in this place called Santa Barbara.
I heard about that trip this weekend.
Yeah, so as much fun as we're having watching this, I think they might have a little bit of fun teaching this game to the people of California.
Well, Matt, a quick shout out to our friend Tonya, who's a great player in this game, longtime partner of Bobo Delaney, her sister-in-law. I go way back with Tonya. She's one of the class acts in the sport, was a teammate of mine. We got to play college tennis together at Rutgers. Oh. And again, Tonya's not here this year. She was going to be on our P-Cup team, but her daughter, Sweet Caroline, who's an incredible student athlete up at Fairfield College, tore her ACL and had surgery the other day, Matt. So Tonya is staying home, making sure Caroline's a little bit more comfortable each day.
Yeah, no, I am fortunate enough to see Tonya on the island a bunch and get to hit with her, and you can't get a bit better smile.
Ohlmuller, Zsinko. Manley Ruoff lead the first set 2-1. All
right, so that's good for Zsinko and Ohlmuller to get on the boards here, Matt. And I think that they said to me they're playing with house money. They were a late pickup, so they really have no pressure out here. But all it comes down to is that belief, and they needed to just get on the boards here, and they'll be in great shape. Viking Athletics is the premier brand and undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty Platform Tennis Ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA, of the APTA Nationals, President's Cup, the Grand Prix Tour, and the Viking Junior Nationals. The official paddle of the APTA is engineered to provide superior feel and the perfect balance of power control, spin, and durability. The Viking ball is the official paddle of the APTA. So maybe Tonya can comment in the chat room about what Ohlmuller and Zsinko have to do to win this match. Wouldn't that be fun to get a little bit interactive with our audience at home?
I mean, if you say this point, it has the difference is I think if you look where Manley and Ruoff are standing, they are staggered compared to Ohlmuller and Zsinko. But I think they may not even know it. And the good thing about it, maybe if this team decides to play a few more together,
Love 15.
being able to see where they stand on the court. Because sometimes I've played and somebody told me I was saying, I'm like, no, there's no way. And then they took a picture. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just from the baseline. I mean, Marina can hit her forehand and her backhand. Like I said, I've never seen Shauna play before this morning. She can hit the ball. So
Love 30.
I do think they need to pose a little bit of a threat, look for a little offense versus looking just to make these points long from the baseline. Great shot of that nice two-score play from Maria Manley. Shout out to the guys from ENET, the official live streamers of the APTA throughout the 5 Grand Prix during the season, plus the 2020 Nationals.
You see Maria just sitting there. She's moving, not even hitting the balls going to Pam, but she's moving, staying, calm, relaxed.
Love
And
40.
it seems like you're right. Ohlmuller and Zsinko at the net, and they'll find their way. They'll find it like the thing, and I wouldn't be surprised, as smart as Marina is on the court, if you wouldn't see them trying a few different things, staying back, trying something different, because they definitely provide good offense when they're at the backcourt.
Yep, you can see their strategies. Dump it kind of soft up the middle to Maria's backhand. She does have a little chip shot and a very good, like a deceptive backhand lob that I used to chase down for years.
Game Manley Ruoff. They lead the first
Pam's
set
smart.
3-1.
She's recognizing they're not on the net, so she's going to hit the softer drive, move in a little bit, put a little pressure on them. And, we know Marina and Shauna will get it,
Matt, name the Hall of Famer that Shauna got to play in the Hinsdale Open with this year. If you can come up with this, I'll be amazed.
So from Headsdale, there's a pretty good player out there. Might have won a couple matches. Mary Doden.
Mary Doden.
Yeah.
They made it to the quarters, went out to Prop and Fizz, an early match. Shauna also played charities with Tori Eicherle. They lost 32 in the 32s there, 2-2 to Dardis and Shea. I think you've heard of them.
Love 15.
And then she played the Midwesterns as well, lost in the 16s to Barron and Anika.
So she's got 3 losses this year to top 7 teams.
You would take those losses. That's what I was getting to. I mean, you can't see how good Ohlmuller and Zsinko are right now. Like, they're a little bit. Well, that's like the first loose move that I've seen from them.
15 all.
That's a great reaction volley, but it's a great move, and that's something that those guys need to do. They need to,
That's
get
what I
moving
saw
a
this
little bit.
morning, Matt.
Exactly.
When I did watch a little bit, Maria would tee off, and Shauna would tee off, and Marina kind of has a great feel for the game and some instincts for those blitzing situations, and I think that's a must for them. I just think Ruoff and Manley are just so disciplined, and they're just going to hang out all day
30-15.
long, defend the net.
As you said, it is house money, and sometimes that house money actually does. At the beginning, you're relax, and then you actually will get yourself into it and say, all right, so get a strategy going a little better and keep it in there.
Matt, name Marina Ohlmuller's partner, who she won the Lake Forest women's event with this year.
40-15.
Lake Forest, so she was early in the year. I think she was still probably playing with Sandy.
That's right.
It's funny.
Sandy
Growing up,
Svetkovic. And who did they beat? Do you remember who they beat in the finals?
They beat good friends of mine, Hallie Bodman and Liz Hayward, which I can tell you this much on that court, you probably saw four of the biggest smiles every point.
We miss Bodman and Hayward here at Nationals.
Miss them big.
They're such a delightful team, such delightful women.
You can see how good those lobs are, but that's got to be one of the best push deep overheads you're going to see. You listen to it drop, hitting it soft.
From Ruoff in the pink hat.
Yes. It's not down, up at all, but that's a good move.
She has no sense of urgency out here. You can see she's waiting for the ball to get to her. So Marina's not hitting a bad lob right there. Two of them made Pam, stand essentially on the service line, but Pam just let the ball drop and
Manley
controlled it.
Ruoff. They lead the first
And you
set
can see
4-1.
The timing of them, where one's hitting the overhead, the other one's moving in. They're taking that position, which is the only difference I'm really seeing. I think Marina and Shauna will move their feet a little bit more, get that drive going a little better, but at the net, they're not helping each other. And I think that just has to do with, playing 2 matches now together.
Well, we've seen such a shift in the sport where holding serve isn't as critical, but then if you don't hold serve, you have to break serve. And I just don't see how they're going to break down Ruoff and Manley yet.
Well, I think you might start to see. I haven't seen Shauna's big drive yet. I know they're kind of playing Ohlmuller a little bit longer, so that because
Love 15.
they don't mind that staying out there for 4 hours. Where some people will never hit to Marina because they don't want to be there for 4 hours. These guys do it.
15
and I
all.
think Marina's got to step up and create some offense and don't have to kill her drive. Just push a couple drives. Lots of it, Ruoff and Manley do so well is they don't kill you with power, they kill you with precision.
30-15.
And that's a good miss. Pam had Shauna beyond the service line, didn't even need to hit it that hard,
No.
really. And that's good heads-up play from Shauna not to play that ball right there. Just let it go through. So this is what I'd love to see more of, Matt, right here, where Shauna is to the left of the two players at the net. She's got such a wingspan. And, she takes 2 steps. She covers half the court.
40-15.
So I really think maybe getting Marina on top of the net, defending the volley, and go with the height and the reach that Shauna's got. And she's got to get some hits here, Matt. They've isolated her out from the baseline. She's getting to return serve. That's
40-30.
really the only shot she's really hitting here.
It is, and I can, one of the big things I think maybe they will even pull. I don't know how Shauna likes to play the ad, but if they need to pull a switch here or there in the backcourt just to show them something different. But it's a big point here. I think this, getting back to 4-2 and the game they won earlier was on Manley's serve. So it'll be, they can get back to 4-2, go to 4-2 and then, have to put the pressure back on to maybe break and then they're right back in it.
Transition play there. Manley Ruoff got the net because of another one of Maria Manley's perfect deep lobs. Good spot for Marina on her right hip.
But if you notice, when they went
Game,
back,
Ohlmuller,
when Ohlmuller was in
Zsinko.
the Ohlmuller
Manley
was in
Ruoff
the
lead the
deuce
first
and,
set 4-2.
Zsinko was in the ad. The nice thing, they look like they created more. So maybe, maybe Ohlmuller and Zsinko will try to think about if switching in the backcourt, just showing them something different, because that way they can hit off all four wings a little better.
Well, I think that's spot on, Matt, because I just think the wingspan
Love
that
15.
Zsinko brings to the table here for Ohlmuller Zsinko would be
They look
a
a little-
curious thing to see.
And I think, they looked a little more relaxed after winning that game. First time they held.
And they probably, because they
15
haven't
all.
played, Matt, they don't even know what side they're better on with each other. So
Yeah.
they'll sort of
Excuse me, love 30. Thank you.
work their way into it as the match goes on, hopefully without being, having to dig out of too big a hole.
Exactly.
And just like Ohlmuller's getting a lot of balls in that deuce court in the baseline, same deal. Maria Manley and that deuce quarter is getting a lot of the overheads from Zsinko and Ohlmuller.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is, if you notice the difference in the two teams, so you're right about the
15-30.
Manley, is just the commitment of the one not hitting the overhead to close in that net to help out, where it's a little less with Ohlmuller and Zsinko.
And that's why I do think the switch, even at the net, Matt, to get Marina on top of the net, because she loves engaging in those quick exchanges, and she holds her paddle up
30
high
all.
and cut off those drives. And I just don't see that Zsinko's closes in on her volley yet.
No, and I think, again, that has to do with not seeing it if you don't know where you're standing. Oh, good point.
So
30-40.
we're getting some early reports from some of the other 32 matches going on here. Darien and Connecticut at 2020 Nationals. Matt, what do you got?
So we got the firing team at the beginning of the year.
Deuce.
Sikora and Morgan are playing a team, I think from your area.
Sure.
In, Ruoff and Yarborough. They're Sikora and Morgan are up 5-2 in the first set. Interesting, a last-minute team again, because Inca and Kravovich, they're playing Majoli and Murphy, and it's a 3-3 type match going on. And we just was told that in the other court, the Sutter von Kreml are up 4-1 on somebody they know pretty well in Rupali and Hall and Minecraft. So I've been told they play a few times.
That's what I've heard. They're on the other live stream court right now.
That's a good drive.
And
good
Matt, you know
volley.
what else we have? This is an amazing thing. I've been involved with the live streaming since the beginning with the APTA, and I
Advantage
never
Manley.
have been handed a clipboard with updates on scores in matches, and we're always guessing, and then we'll get a random one. And these guys, led by Tierna Kavan and Mark Fischel, they've got an amazing group of volunteers out here who are really keeping us on top of all the scores.
Yeah, no, it's a great lob there. But that's a...
You see, Matt, how Marina went off the net, but was very disciplined, just kept the ball straight ahead to Ohlmuller, because that's their plan.
Yep.
It would have been easy just to throw the ball across court. A lot of club level players will do that.
Game,
but then
Manley Ruoff.
you
They lead the
cannot
first
cover
set
the next shot
5-2.
if you hit the ball short.
Well, I think, they have a plan. It seems to me they're at the net. They're not letting Shauna swing. And, I'm not a big hitter, so I've never had to really do it. But I know some of those people that like to swing away, and if they're not seeing the ball that often, it gets, it makes it a little tougher.
That's a ball change, ladies. 7 games.
And I would never leave out our other co-chair of this event. I was just saving a very special spot for our third co-director, and that's host pro Carl Levanon, the father of one of the boys who won the APTA Junior Nationals recently.
Wow.
Boys 12 and unders. And he won the boys 12s, and he also won best dressed, Matt.
Well, then he must not have been dressing like his father. We know that much. No, I'm very happy for knowing Mr. Leverett for a bunch of years now. Carl does a great job up here. He's hosting. It's the first time you're really hosting 3 nationals, if you want to,
with the addition of the
Nationals.
PTI and a
The
full
PTI
128
Nationals,
draw.
128
love.
draw. I think it's going to be great, and it's going to be, it's going to be a fun time. That's a great volley.
30 love.
And Ohlmuller loves closing in on that volley. You saw it right there.
But you can see that's the thing. You can see Sean.
30-15.
Zsinko hits a volley, and she's not coming back in right away. And that's the difference between with Manley and Ruoff. They're hitting 1 or 2 shots, and then they're staying
30
on
all.
that.
Yeah, we talked earlier, Matt. That was the first thing that we saw. There were just open spaces, just lack of playing together, not real commitment to shifting together. You see Marina's kind of squatting under that very tall wingspan. But that's where I just think she's got to go over and be ready when Ruoff is going to drive the ball. Eventually that's going to happen.
$30-40.
It kind of looked like during that point that Zsinko was.
The ball was good. It was good.
Zsinko was going to end up calling a ball out. It ended up being a good ball, and they kept playing it. And you can see there it is.
Game, Manley Ruoff. They win the first set 6-2.
We will be right back in just a minute after these messages right here on the APTA Network presented by eNet Live.
The world of Rolex is filled with stories of perpetual excellence. For Rolex and tennis, the tradition began in 1978 and has grown to include the most iconic majors and tournaments since, supporting the legends, champions, and rising stars committed to the future of the game. This is a story of perpetual excellence, the story of Rolex.
You can't put wings on a car. You can't see an accident coming or walk away from one like this. You can't make a car talk.
How can I help you?
You can't fight gravity. And you can't make one of the world's best SUVs even better. Go on, tell us what else we can't do. The all-new GLS.
Are we ready to go?
Possibly the safest, most spacious, most Mercedes SUV ever made. Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Welcome back to the APTA 2020 Nationals.
you're
We are
ready.
in Darien, Connecticut at the Country Club of Darien, and this is a round of 32 match. We're heading into the second set. Number 11 seed, Ruoff and Manley, serving up against Zsinko and Ohlmuller. Matt, first set, 6-2.
Love
Our number
15.
11 seeds prevailed so far. We talked about a couple of things we'd maybe think that the team of Ohlmuller and Zsinko could think about doing in this match to turn it around. And what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I definitely think they got to
15
taking
all.
a free points wouldn't hurt.
Excuse
but
me,
no,
love 30.
Yeah, they need, I think they need to be a little more aggressive, somewhat from the backcourt. Not so much of hitting it harder, but just, they're either pushing their drive too much, or they got to hit through that ball a little bit more. And once they get no lob, they're missing. Ohlmuller's got one of the best lobs in the game, but as you said, they're playing one of the most disciplined teams, which doesn't, it's not a great matchup for that part. Now they got a ball, a couple drives, good blitz.
That's all they have to do, Matt.
Love 40.
They just listen.
You
and go.
nailed it.
But again, they gotta, they're not like it was a 6-2, but it was a. We all have heard that as a coach. Every game went to deuce. It was a close, and they look like they just need to, almost like the
Game, Ohlmuller, Zsinko.
get it going. Like they just
lead
take
the
a little
second
bit
set,
of a
1-love. Manley Ruoff won the first
a
set,
Red Bull
6-2.
almost. Get their going a little bit. Get them moving a little bit, and then after the first game here, now the big thing is they gotta hold. It is, but we've talked about it. Their net positioning. I mean, if as a coach, I would say they just, because I don't think they know where they're standing as much, because they've never played that much together, where it can bit the difference.
From what I can see with Zsinko and her wingspan, who's about to serve here, Shauna Zsinko, she's got a very nice fluid-looking overhead. I would love to see them get her in a position, hit more overheads to loosen her up, and then maybe from the baseline, she can get herself involved a little bit more with some footwork and, sneaking in. And we just saw that two-handed backhand up the middle. I might say, hey, Marina, you hit your backhand out of that ad corner and let me get some of those every middle ball, and then see if she can't launch herself here offensively. Well, that's a nice way to launch yourself.
Aces work in this game. There's not many, but when you get them, they can't complain. No, I think you're right. I think they need to they're playing the patient game. They're not when they're playing bad. It wasn't like, it was like, oh my God, what they do really wrong. But maybe they can mix it up a little bit, add a little bit of pace, maybe hit a couple hard overheads just to change it up. Wouldn't be the worst to hit a hard overhead, bail.
Sure. Just create some movement as well, because every move from Manley and Ruoff is measured out here. Baseline and at net, no surprises.
No, they're, the one thing I really liked about, covering that line, but the one thing I liked about Manley and Ruoff and they were doing is, I've seen them for years, and they're blitzing more. They're trying to bring in things, because they also know that, they can play with the best teams if they mix it up a little bit and not just get so predictable at all the time.
A little quick chalk talk from Coach Ohlmuller there, and I think she just shared with Zsinko the merits of when you're pushed back to throw the ball down the middle, because she's looking for that ball to be hit down the middle. That's the second time Marina kind of got caught, and Ruoff's drive is so spot on accurate, where not shifting over and covering that line there, has left them each vulnerable in this match. Yes. Marina's got caught, I think, 3 times on that shot, and Zsinko's been caught a couple times. Yeah, and they say, when you're aiming a drive, spot your drives, and you have 2 players committed to their backhand volleys, try to put it on their right hip, and that's what Ruoff is masterful at.
But,
30 all.
Guillaume and Molenveld are through, Matt. They had a quick match, 0-1, to advance into the round of 16. Elliot Redesno won their first match 6-0 over Behrens and Cava. Do you know that woman?
I know Spencer's first name.
Okay, no worries. No worries. And we're thinking about one of my favorite teams
40-30
ever, Zink Prendergast. They won their first 2 matches, and our prayers are with Lauren Zink and her family and her father. Now Lauren and Cindy had to take off, and Lauren's father's in
Deuce.
tough shape, so
It's
our hearts
sad.
are with them.
Our hearts
And
are with them. Our prayers are with them.
yes.
And, you know, though. I was excited to see them back and playing again, you know.
Oh, well, I was hoping we were going to
Yeah.
get to see him on the live stream.
Oh, but that's the good. I mean, that's the swing.
Add
At least
Ruoff.
he swung through that ball, and that's what, you know. And I think the more that they can swing and get moving and hitting, they can be more relaxed on their drives, and then Shauna can bring it a little bit more.
But again, you see how Marina, or Ohlmuller, who's on the camera across, to the left of the two players, I just think she's got to get closer to that single sideline when you have a player as good as Ruoff over there who can just pinpoint her drives.
Yeah, as I said, it's. Oh,
Everything comes down to shifting, Matt. Everyone you ever coach. The ones who improve believe you all the time. They don't need to prove to you that their way could work.
no. As you said, Patty, you've been a proponent of being on the live stream since the beginning, and one of the big things I've noticed over the years is not just how great the live stream is for the fans, for the understanding, learning better about this game, but the players themselves, they go back and they watched it and they learn from it.
Deuce.
And it is a great tool, and it's a great tool. They can see I missed a shot, but I set it up perfectly. It's no big deal, and we're not shifting as much as I am.
Sure, and your
Ball's
comment,
out.
Matt, that you made after
Add
the first
Ruoff.
set, that Zsinko and Ohlmuller aren't doing anything poorly. It's just that they're playing against the team who's the 11th seed and a top 10 team in the country forever as a team, and that's really tough to take out unless you have a real disciplined approach. You've got to have tactics so that you can change your tactics when they're not working.
Yeah,
Deuce.
no,
It's hard to change a losing game when there's no plan. And you can go in and convince yourself, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then if you lose the first set, now you say, okay, not only was that execution, it just was a bad strategy. We've all been there, done that.
Well, they've hit 4 nicks on Maria this game, so I mean it's
Advantage
that's also
Zsinko.
a better way of doing it. Just keep hitting the nick and watching it go down. But it's that's the thing. You're right. It's about positioning and belief, and eventually knowing that your opponent might like to drive down the line or.
Ball's out. Deuce. Advantage Zsinko.
That's the first time she's hit through her serve, and I've played Zsinko back before she was she does have one of the bigger serves in the game. It's not often you say that in the women, but she does have a very big and good serve.
Deuce.
Elmhurst College, she is the men's tennis coach, Matt.
I used to play Elmhurst College back in the day and in my CCIW days. A long time. She's been teaching. I know she, as you said, we talked about her being a chiropractor and helping out probably most of these ladies after today, but she's also teaches at Butterfield Club, the platform pro there. Because she Manley
Advantage
there.
Ruoff.
Take the pace off, taking it. They saw them off the net, so she's like, I don't need to drive hard. Placement.
Yeah, I like this setup for Zsinko and Ohlmuller. I just think Zsinko's got such a wingspan. And given that she's the winningest person in the history of Purdue sports, even with more wins on their tennis team than Drew Brees ever got at Purdue
Deuce.
as a football player. Did you know that, Matt?
No, I heard that stat, and I was blown. I mean, I knew she was a great player and great coach, and that's awesome. I mean, to bring that. I mean, you know how to win, and that's a big thing. I mean, it's just learning how. It's a different sport, but you still have to.
I'm sorry?
You just have to win.
Yeah, and I mean,
Time.
they're being very
Please,
deliberate
time.
here, obviously, slowing this thing down to a halt.
Yeah.
But this is the time. If they don't change something now,
Well, it's. I mean,
it'll be over.
Advantage Ruoff.
I think their own chalk talk guy. See, got them off rhythm a little bit. But again, we're only in the second game here, and it's been. You see.
Game Manley Ruoff.
See Pam's drive precise.
1-1, second set.
And I just think Ohlmuller on top of the net there, she was the player to the right, wasn't even looking to volley that ball where I think she's got to look to volley that ball.
So we have a
Love
couple
15.
more, not total resorts. It's Sutter Von Kermel. They're over on the other live stream. They won the first set 6-2. And
15 all.
and it looks like Sikora and Morgan have placed on themselves. They'll be playing in the 16s. And the winner of this
30-15
gets to play against the hot team from the beginning of the year of Morgan and Sikora.
Have they, Matt, you just said they prevailed in their match?
That's what it.
I'm not positive they're through yet. I know you are psychic light. Actually, they are through. Okay, sorry about that.
Hey,
40-15.
you can see though. I mean, it's so Manley and Ruoff are up 45 in this game, and it's one of those where it's a long game. We've all been a long game, and you
Game
lose
Manley
that game
Ruoff.
and
They lead second
mentally you
set
just, like,
2-1.
Get down for 1 second. And he's like, these guys need to, as I said, after the first game, they had to look like they had energy back. They were going, and it just, a long game, brought it down. They'll, get that
And-
energy back.
And I really think right there, Manley, 40-15, served a beautiful deep ball toward the tee, caught Zsinko in an awkward position. And that's what Ruoff and Manley do as a team. They take away their opponent's weapons, and that's why they're the number 11 seed. And, they can get through to the quarterfinals in nationals, if not beyond. It's on their paddles.
Miss Ohlmuller here to serve. It's a great get. It's a great
Love
lob off the
15.
get. Bad luck.
Love 30.
That's the bad feeling when things start going and all of a sudden you get a phenomenal lob that hits the line and doesn't bounce off the screen, and you get a let court, and next thing you know
Love
you're
40.
trying to figure it out, like what just happened. So maybe they were listening to us. They both stayed back on their serve now to change something up, and
Really good deep lob. Got Manley 3/4 back. Would have loved to have seen a blitz out of Ohlmuller there.
I think Shauna can also, Zsinko probably could, with some of those lobs, just even take one step over just to look, just to make them, there it is.
Game Manley Ruoff. They lead the second set 3-1.
But I like that they stayed back, showed them something different. I think they, yeah, they can definitely from the backcourt create more offense than they can at the net court against this team.
See, I just think out of the deuce court, Zsinko has got to stay in there more, move over, scoot, like open up her entire deuce court and tempt Manley and Ruoff to hit over there. No offense to Marina, but
no,
she's got to come over and take away the middle if Ruoff and Manley do dump a ball there.
Love 15.
I 100% agreement. It just shows him something different as well. This shows them something different. And as you said, we have some teaching professionals out there, and I was told by a bunch of my ladies years ago, I've never lost a match on this side of the glass, and still haven't. But it's easier for us to see when they're out there. But you're right. I think if she comes over, she could definitely show them a little different move.
$15 all.
Matt, 128 women's teams in this year's Nationals. Number 1 seed, Cooper Hanisch. Potential matchup with Morgan Sikora if they all get through. You've got Delmonico and Gebbia. I mean, they're really tough in that number 4's seeded spot here for Nationals. Guillaume Mellenveld, Props Fizz are the 7th seed. You've got number 3 seed Dartis Shea, finalists the last time we were in Darien, Connecticut for the Nationals. They lost that match to mom again, Gabby Nicolescu. Congratulations on your new baby. And Liz Cruz awaiting the birth of her second and getting over a terrible flu. We miss you both. We hope to see you at Nationals next year. Elliot Rodesno, what a fun, newer team, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, and Elliot's playing in from the home crowd here is, if I'm not mistaken, she's
one of Carl's assistants.
A few people at this club, and it was wonderful to see a lot of new faces, as long as Deon
Drakova Zabori. The last time we were in New Canaan, where are we, Matt? Not New Canaan. We've been there too recently.
40-15.
But up here in Darien for the Nationals, we did see an amazing final, and Dartis and Shea lost that to Gabby and Liz, and Martina also grabbed a national title, didn't she?
Yes,
Did she win that one with Gabby? Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, no, that was.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, no.
Andreeva was the champ,
40-30.
and she's playing with Anna Zabori. They're our other top team here, 2nd seed, one of the tournament favorites.
It is something different than you've seen in, it's great to see that, a lot of teams they stick together for years, obviously, as we're talking about the Manley Ruoff team, and it does help. But it is neat to see some of the players that are even playing other tournaments, not just with their partner, and
Yeah, no, most players do benefit from mixing it up a little bit and playing with different style of play partners. It helps develop a wider range of your paddle skills.
Yeah.
Marina's the director. Marina Ohlmuller is the director of platform tennis at Northmore Country Club in Highland Park, Illinois. Mom of Gunner.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
She's just so smooth that deuce court.
Advantage
What
Ruoff.
that has to do right there was the not playing with each other. You get a short ball, soft in the middle, that's low, and it's like, do I go? No, you go.
But also maybe a little bit of the inexperience of Zsinko to understand, okay, you've hit this great shot. This is what's going to happen next. You've got her volleying from below the level of the net. Off-speed ball. The ball probably is not going to come deep to you on the baseline.
Well, it also says, I think, I mean, I've never had to worry about anybody not volleying my shot. I can't
Game
break glass,
Ruoff,
painted glass is
Manley.
mine.
They lead the
But
second set,
she's hit
4
so
games
many
to
good
1.
balls that a lot of players don't get it back. So when they get it back that third or fourth time, it is mentally a different, feeling. As you can see, it's 4-1. It's 4-1 here, but it is one of those where you can feel like they can crawl back, and it is, mixing it up. They're talking more. They're trying to figure it out. They're they're not rushing anything. So I think they can, if they can, hit it. But at the same time, you have Manley and Ruoff on the other side that have just basically have said,
Yeah, they're just cruising here, Matt.
Here we are. We're playing our game, and they have confidence. And talk to anybody. When anybody has confidence in this sport, it's a huge help.
Love 15.
Just a little off-speed shot from Manley out of that deuce court.
Unfortunate miss, but I will say, Ohlmuller was closer to the net, and, it's an unfortunate miss, but she was in a much better position there. And I think, listen, we all know that, unfortunately, one team's going to move on, one team's going to have to go play, and but in a round of 32 back draw and fight, the fight for 17, but it'll be good for these guys to, after this match, whoever does not prevail, to learn from it and go forward.
Love 30.
Matt, a very subtle thing that I think has always made Ruoff and Manley one of the top teams is the different speeds with which they do hit their drives. And that's where, Marina hit an off-speed ball, and you look at it on the live stream, and you're like, how can Ohlmuller miss that volley? Well, she expected it with a little bit more pace and had been volleying a little bit of a heavy ball. And then all of a sudden that ball comes with less pace, and it's easy to get a little bit out in front or early on the volley.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just all Manley Ruoff, the way they play. And there's just no lobbing tactic that Ohlmuller and Zsinko have come up with yet that is even putting, making Ruoff and Manley the least bit uncomfortable.
You can say that I'm very impressed with Ruoff's, overheads.
Ball was out.
I mean, 3 or 4 times.
Love
out
40.
Of 300 that they've had a hard drive come back at her. A couple of softer drives, but very good at placing everything.
Game Manley Ruoff. They lead second set 5 games to 1.
The amazing thing, Matt, for those club level players watching this at home, Zsinko and Ohlmuller would take out every club level player with their power. But because of the defensive abilities, positioning of Ruoff and Manley, there's just no answers for them here, where, their pace and drives just does nothing to permeate the wall that Manley and Ruoff, demonstrate as a team.
Love
Nice
15.
blitz. There she hit through a ball. Great blitz by Ohlmuller.
$15 all. $15-30.
They're up in a game, Matt.
There you go. They're there.
Never say never.
No.
15-40. Game Ohlmuller, Zsinko.
Hey.
Manley, Ruoff lead the second set 5-2.
You can say, you know, the big thing here, can they get back? Yes, they have to. And it's the hardest thing is when you're used to hitting balls that people don't get back, and it comes back and back and back. You have to, you know, sometimes you feel, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And, you know, it's, you know, for Shauna or for Zsinko here and Ohlmuller, the fight, crawl. Take something from
One
this.
at a time, right, Matt?
Exactly, the old additive, one at a time.
It's not even it's one shot at a time, and just start building some points. So I'm liking the setup. I like Marina on the right of the two players at the net here. But again,
15 love.
no one was closing the net. You talk about like the accordion effect, and when you know a drive's coming, the team on the other side needs to close in, and the teams that are so effective, you think about Hall of Famer Bobo Delaney. What a volleyer Bobo is, because she knows when the play demands that she go and volley in that space, and you know she can close it off, and I think that's what you see with the top women's teams. They can close off that drive.
Well, it's you said it perfectly there. It is, you know, not seeing where you're on the court.
Yes, so a little trouble there again. Marina's closer to the net.
15 all.
Pam gets the ball. Ruoff in that ad corner, and boom, wide open space in front of her. One of us could have made that forehand there, Matt, as well.
Not
Maybe.
not my forehand. You can even ask Mark Fischel about that. Definitely not my forehand, but yours. But you're right. It is the, you know, it'd be fun to talk to these girls after this match is about
30-15.
You know, you're gonna say, what can you get? You know, it's neat. One of the nice things I think about, you know, the community of the players is they all,
40-15.
you know, not only are friends, but they trust, you know, they like to hear what, you know, the opinions of other players of what can they do to help it out.
Sure, because getting better is just communicating as a team, seeing some different, you know, like having things occur to you during a match, Matt, versus the drive home. You know, many a times, you know, you drive from an event and you say to your partner, oh, I wish I could have done that, or why didn't we think of that? And that's just match experience, and that's where Ohlmuller and Zsinko as a team really have none, so nothing to draw on.
But, you know, listen, what a great volley, great get.
Really nice play, good little play from Manley. Just throw that ball back up. Good hands from Ohlmuller. Screenplay, I don't think Ruoff's missed one screenshot, Matt, in this match. Maybe Manley one.
Except for Knicks, no.
Game Ohlmuller, Zsinko.
Except for when they hit
Manley,
the Knicks,
Ruoff
no.
lead this.
Well, you
lead
got to
the
cover
second set,
Knicks.
5
If you
games
don't
to
know,
3.
you got to go up that side screen.
I think, you know, we all can say, you know, the hardest point to win is always the last, and is, you know, the big thing now is 2 games in a row, little smiling going, a little help time. Now it's, you know, this nothing to lose. Keep doing it. Keep putting the pressure on, because we all know when I've been up. Most people they've been up a little bit, and somebody puts a little pressure on you, and it's not that easy to close.
And I think teams who have more success over and over then have the ability to close. And there's some teams in the women's
Love
game who are
15.
tremendous front runners, and that's what separates them from the rest of the teams.
It is.
You know, there's maybe 3 or 4 teams here in Nationals who, when they have, you know, they never take their foot off the gas when they're ahead.
It's an amazing defeat. Not only is it physical, but the mental aspect of that is, you know.
Yeah, people don't appreciate, you know, they hear, oh, it's the chess game, and, you know, you have to move the players around. I always feel like it's the chess game in your brain as well. There's so much decision making, and you have to be so present and in every single shot, and then over and over, match after match after match. And that's what the top players, they have that ability, and you only get it from going deeper and deeper and having success.
Yeah. Because the other thing is, nice backhand.
Love 30.
It was a great backhand, caught Maria Manley backing off the net a little bit, dropped her paddle head, popped the ball out.
It was the first time Manley actually got out of position on an overhead and went into Ruoff's area, and then it put it in, you can see sometimes, Ohlmuller's not missing any lobs. Zsinko's getting a little more involved. But it is, that's the first time that they've, gotten himself, if you want to say, any kind of trouble at the net and position.
15-30.
Like the move, the switch, don't let Shauna just get in a perfect spot. With Manley moving up there,
15-30.
she's kind of, do I hit down a line, do I hit cross court?
Yeah, Ohlmuller had a lot of faith in her partner's ability there to pick up where Manley was going to be. See, and Manley had 2 drives there, Matt, and I just think she's got to pick a spot, a right hip of a net player. That's what Ruoff does out of that ad corner. That's why she's so effective.
30 all.
I just think when you drive and you repeatedly go to a player's left and their backhand volley setup, they're in their proper backhand positioning.
There is that.
You've got to put the ball somewhere on their right side.
Find the right hip. The other part is, if you also noted where Manley was volleying from, she almost could touch the net. So you get there, it takes away that drive. Great serve up the middle, brings in
40-30.
as we said before, the hardest point to win, the first match point.
Game, set, match. Manley Ruoff. They win 6-2, 6-3.
Great play match with Manley Ruoff. And Zsinko played great, and good luck for the both of them. And I know Miss Morgan and Miss Sikora are getting excited now to play the Manley Ruoff team. It'll be now you're going to see the difference. I think you're going to see between Morgan and Sikora and the Ohlmuller Zsinko is going to be that they've played a whole season together. They know where each person's going to be on the court, and they're going to see a little bit more of that. But it's going to be looking forward to it.
So, Matt, we're going to wrap that up here, and we'll be back with a women's round of 16s match coming up.